And you can support it or suppress it naturally or unnaturally.
Right. Unnaturally would be like eating bad things, right? Stuff like that.
Or like medication.
Medications and stuff like that, right. How the reproductive system works. It's Hunt for Wellness, episode number 69. Hello, welcome to Hunt for Wellness. I am John Hunt.
And I'm Kristi Hunt.
And this is the show where we help you live your best life, mind, body, and spirit. And this episode of Hunt for Wellness is brought to you by waterdistillers.com. Great machines that produce great water that help you achieve great wellness. Check them out over at waterdistillers.com. The natural reproductive system. And so let's define what this system is. What's involved in it?
So it's the tissues, glands, and organs involved in producing offspring, children.
Oh, nice. Be fruitful and multiply.
That's right. And
God talked about the reproductive system very early in the Bible.
He did, right away.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, that's kind of the plan, isn't it? Because if you don't reproduce, you die off.
The human race ends.
It ends, right.
So it's a very important system of the body. And what is so interesting about this system is, all the other systems just interact within one person. These are two different people, two different whole systems interacting
with each other. You can't do one without the other.
No.
I know, that is amazing, isn't it? And how God created
really is.
Just the right things to happen at the right time, and then all of a sudden, this little baby.
I know.
And they're so cute.
It's like a miracle. It really is a miracle. And when you see that new baby, new life, it's phenomenal.
Well, you've given birth 4 times, and you've seen it, and I've seen it, and you just go, whoa.
It
you
just
can't
blows,
explain it.
No, it blows you away, and it's a miracle that there's a new human life that for 9 months was growing inside the woman, not breathing, and suddenly they are born and they switch over to air breathing.
Yeah, and they break off on their own.
They were underwater for 9 months, and now they can breathe. I mean, there's so many miracles about it.
Yeah, it's really cool. But we're not talking about the miracles today, right? We're talking about the system and how to support it. So,
yes.
How do you want to tackle this topic today?
Okay, so just, first of all, what's part of it? Okay. And for the woman, it includes the ovaries, fallopian tubes, uterus, cervix, vagina, and I think the breasts are involved too. They're not specifically stated in a lot of places, but they're definitely part of it. And for men, it includes the prostate, the testes, and the penis. Right. And, the main function is to ensure the survival of the species.
Yeah. Isn't that amazing? And
the
man has half of it and the woman has half of it.
Yes. And they have to come together and things have to happen at just the right time.
Right. Isn't that amazing too?
Right, it is.
It's like, if the situation in the system is not right, no life happens.
Right, exactly.
Okay.
So what happens is, the female, they are born in their ovaries with all the eggs, or future eggs that they will have.
For their lifetime?
Yes.
So so they have that at birth?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that. That is interesting.
So, so if they're, that's important too. They don't create new ones, where men are continually producing sperm throughout their entire life. Plus, the women don't actually bring eggs to fruitfulness except once a month.
Right.
Once a month for about the age of 15 to 50.
Yeah.
And then they quit. But men are always fertile.
Right. So, I know we're not going to get into the in vitro and all that kind of stuff, but
that would not be unnatural.
That would be unnatural. But I'm just, if a woman has eggs, I mean, theoretically, any woman could contribute to a birth, right?
Yes.
This is off topic a little bit, but are women ever born without eggs?
If they were born without ovaries, or probably if they didn't fully develop.
Okay. All right. Sorry for that little sidetrack, but I got thinking about that whole thing. It's amazing that they're born with all the eggs they're going to have for their whole life.
Yes. So then one, supposedly, sometimes there's two or more, but is chosen to come to fruition, and that kind of is growing during the first half of the menstrual cycle. And then when you hear of ovulation, it's the egg released from the ovary. And then that egg starts traveling down the fallopian tube.
Okay.
And then if there is intercourse during a fertile time, around that time of ovulation, the woman secretes a mucus, which helps the sperm go up in through the cervix, into the uterus, into the fallopian tube, and then the conception happens in the fallopian tube.
Oh, wow.
And then that new human life travels down the fallopian tube in a few days and implants itself in the side of the uterus.
I feel like I'm at a junior high sex education class. But no, it's good to know those different things. And they all have to the timing has to be perfect.
Yes, yes.
But when people say, oh, this baby was a mistake, it's like,
no, there's no mistakes.
There's no mistakes. I don't think that can be true.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then that baby grows inside the uterus for like 9 months. And then
it wants to get out.
The body knows when it's time to release that baby. And so the hormones kick in to expel the baby from the uterus, and then the baby is born.
Wow.
And switches from that, non-air breathing to air breathing.
That is amazing.
It is amazing. Yeah.
Yep.
And then the woman produces milk in the breast to support that new human life, and it's just the right kind of milk at the right time.
Wow.
To support that baby.
Right.
For the first year of life.
Oh,
so
awesome.
Isn't that cool?
That is so cool. But so now we got to talk about, are we talking about supporting that yet to help that? Because that's natural support, right? It's
yeah, so that's kind of what happens.
Right,
okay. That happens. All right. So getting pregnant, if a person wants to get pregnant, a couple wants to get pregnant, what's really important in supporting that naturally is to be as healthy as possible. Now, it's mainly been studied on women, how healthy they are, but it is being studied now more on men, how healthy they are at the time of conception.
Right.
And there's studies that are showing if the person is not very healthful at that time, that can impact the health of the child, for the person, that child that becomes the adult, for the rest of their lives.
Wow.
And so not just like, oh, I'm pregnant now I better take really good care of myself. Actually, no, the time to start taking really good care of yourself is before. And a lot of times women don't know when they're going to get pregnant.
Right.
So really, they should be taking really good care of themselves during childbearing years really well. And before that and after that.
Right. And then you basically will have watched every episode of this podcast, because that's all we talk about, is taking care of yourself.
Yeah, take really good care.
In every stage of life.
Yeah, but it can be fun and happy and healthy. A lot of people think healthy is unfun, but that is not true.
Right.
Be healthy. And I can testify to this, to the studies that show people that are not healthy at the time of pregnancy, maybe they might be overweight. There's like overweight but undernourished, like they're not getting enough nutrition, and that child has more chances of long-term chronic diseases.
Wow.
Because of that. So it is important not only for yourself to be healthy, but for your future children.
Yeah. Right.
To be healthy. And Oh, I did a lot of research.
And it's not only that you are what you eat, it's you are what your parents eat.
That is true. And the chemicals they took in
Yeah.
and things like that.
Yeah. Wow.
So it is important. And you can look at some research studies online if you want to. PubMed is a good one. But predisposing them to diabetes and heart issues, and it's quite amazing. But so here's the story about, I had 4 daughters, and after the first one, I just felt like, oh, my body needs a cleanse. I had her and then breastfed for her for a year, and so because of that, you don't diet, you don't do any type of cleansing when you're breastfeeding. So, but after I was done, I just felt like I really needed to, and so I went to a health practitioner and was really on a strict diet and taking a whole bunch of supplements to really cleanse my system, which it did. And it was really good. I felt very good during this time. And also during this time, I got pregnant again. And then I never did that type of cleanse again. Then we had 2 more children after that. So only for the second child was I I would say super healthy at that, at the time of conception. And I always took care of myself well during the pregnancies. The care during the pregnancies for me was no different for all 4 of my children. Right. So 3 out of 4 of my children had asthma. 3 out of 4 of my children needed braces for their teeth.
Isn't that amazing?
And the one that didn't was the one that was born, that second born, that was, I was at my healthiest. She did not have asthma. She did not need braces. She's the most athletic of all the kids. Right. And it's kind of sad that I didn't realize that earlier on, and I could have done that for my other children, but it's just a testimony to this is true. Right. Your state of health at conception makes a big difference. So, okay. Now, once a person gets pregnant, they want to be careful about what they're doing. And what do you think is one of the common questions that they ask?
Can I eat something or take something that I shouldn't be taking? Yeah,
is there things I shouldn't take or shouldn't use?
Yeah, obviously you want to stop drinking.
Yeah, don't drink alcohol. We know that. Don't drink alcohol.
Don't do drugs.
Don't smoke.
Right.
Yeah, stay away from those, which is really good. Yeah. And I would say be very careful about taking any type of medication. Yeah. And just be really careful and ask if there's been research done on this medication on pregnant women. A lot of them do not have research done on pregnant women. So there have been other medications that have been given to women in the past. Thalidomide. Thalidomide was, are you familiar with that one, John? Okay. That was given to women like in the 60s for nausea in pregnancy, and babies were born without arms.
Oh.
Yeah. So, oh dear, I guess we shouldn't take that drug.
Right.
So, make sure there are studies done, and it is really a safe drug. And there's been other drugs and other medications too. Right. So just be really, really careful about what medications you do take, and do your research. It is your body. It is your baby. So you have to live with the consequences. Nobody else does. No medical professional does. It's you. So be careful, and you are in charge of your own health.
Yes, you are.
I'm speaking this as a health professional, that you are in charge. You as a person are in charge of your own health. Your health professional is there to give you advice. You don't have to follow it. You choose. Right. If you want a second opinion or to do something differently, it's your choice. So anyways, be careful.
Okay, what else do you have to talk about?
Okay, so what if you don't want to get pregnant?
Right. You don't want to use chemicals to prevent that, do you?
No, I don't.
That would be unnatural, and that's what this show is not about, right?
That's right. We're about natural stuff, and we've been about natural stuff for our whole lives.
Yep.
And so there is a program called FertilityCare NaProTechnology.
Okay.
So it is it's based on over 30 years of research and practical application of this. It's a women's health science.
Mm-hmm.
And the main principle is that the ability to work cooperatively with the woman's menstrual and fertility cycle. So it relies on the CREIGHTON model of fertility care system and using biomarkers that easily monitor the occurrence of various hormonal events during the menstrual cycle. And it can be easily interpreted by the women and by physicians who are specifically trained in this system.
Right. Well, if you'd like to find out more information about the NaProTechnology, we will link that in the show notes again over at Hunt4Wellness.com, because it is a great program. But do your research and find out what it's all about. We're not going to get in depth on the show about all the pieces of that, because that's a whole program in itself. But it is a great way to support pregnancy, or it's a great way to avoid pregnancy too.
Yes,
you use it. You're in control.
You choose the way you want to use it.
Yeah.
And it's a method that we have used.
Yep.
And it's natural. It cooperates with the body, and you see what's going on with your body.
Right. Yeah. You're in touch with your body.
So, and it's very effective.
Yes. Okay.
So check that out, the CREIGHTON model fertility care system. Also, so when you're getting a little bit older and kind of perimenopause, menopause happens for the women, they don't have their menstrual cycle anymore. Sometimes things like hot flashes can happen, and just feeling weird and brain changes, not feeling
women
so
who
good.
Have experienced know exactly what you're talking about.
Yes.
Younger women may not know yet. They have heard of it, but they don't know about it yet.
Oh my goodness. I can remember a couple of times when it was like, I'm driving the car with my kids and I'm like, where am I going? It was like my brain shut off for a few minutes. It was weird and kind of scary.
Yeah.
But it did get back to normal. Once a person loses their health, all they can think about is regaining it.
Yeah.
Really, then nothing else matters except regaining the health. It's a lot easier to keep yourself healthy.
Right.
You know, just support yourself. Do the little things.
You can also go over to Hunt4Wellness.com and click the blue connect button if you have any questions on any of these things. Reach out. We can reach out by email, phone, whatever you would like to do, and connect about any of these issues that we're talking about today.
Yes. Yes.
Sounds great. All right. Any other last minute?
Well, I think the key thing is you can support your health naturally and your reproductive system naturally. You don't have to use harsh chemicals or change things. You can do it naturally, and it works. It's effective, and it's great.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, this episode of Hunt for Wellness is brought to you by waterdistillers.com. Great machines that provide great water for great wellness. You need to go over and check it out. All kinds of videos over there too. You can watch on if you know nothing about it. So it's over at waterdistillers.com. So we'll see you next time on Hunt for Wellness.